Yo, what's going on, man? Come on in, have a seat, chill out for a second. It's Blitz, and today I'm going to be bringing you the best lockdown build in Comp ProAM Season 5. And in my opinion, this has been the best build since the day this game dropped. This is the lockdown build we use on our squad as our main on-ball lock, which is also our man Juice. You've probably seen him in our recent Pro-Am videos. I mean, the dude has been an absolute menace using this build, man. Before we get into the builder, I want to say thank you so much for the new influx of subscribers and overall support. We just shot past 100 subscribers, and now we're at just above 150. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. I love making this content so much, and just to see the growth is something I really didn't expect. It just makes me super excited to keep pushing stuff out there for y'all. So again, I really appreciate it. If you do enjoy the ProAM gameplay or the build videos, please hit the sub, leave a like or a comment, and hit the bell so you know the second I drop a new video. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's go to the builder. Alright, so we're going to start here. We're going to put him at the small forward. I believe you can make this at the point guard and the shooting guard too. I mean, don't quote me that. Definitely double check that before you finalize the build, but I just put him at the small forward because there's no reason not to. I made the name Ragnar Lothbrok. Shout out to Vikings if any of y'all know that show. I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows ever. Yeah, it used to be, if any of y'all follow the channel, it used to be Pennywise the Clown. I just changed it up. That was an idea that started as a YouTube idea that I thought would be cool, Pennywise and the Pro-Am. But I ended up changing it up just because I felt like changing it up. I've had some people comment on it. If y'all wanted me to bring it back, I'll definitely bring it back. I thought that was a lot of fun, but I changed it up for now. So let me know what y'all think. Moving on to the measurables, the body settings. Made him 6'7", weight 198, wingspan 7'4". You want as long as arms as possible for your height. That's 7'4" wingspan for those steals. I know steals got a slight nerf for the plucks, but as far as picking the ball off on the fast breaks, and a big one is picking the ball off whenever the other team is trying to reset their offense by getting the ball back to their guard. That's a prime example of how that steal is just still so effective now. And the body shape is built, it's kind of a myth. I think it might be a myth, but it feels that you get better body up animations if you have the more built body shape. You're just a little bit thicker. You move side to side and get more body up animations, so that's great. I would definitely advise doing that. And before I go further into this build, I want to make two things super clear. The builds that you see, the first one is, and before I go any further into this build, I do want to make two things very clear about the builds that you see on this channel. The builds I make on this channel are engineered for Comp ProAM and designed to fit a role within a certain lineup on a team. That's very important to understand. These builds are not made for the park. They're not made to goof off in the rec. Of course, you can do that with these builds, but I want you to keep in mind, these are engineered for Comp ProAM and designed to fit a role within a certain lineup on a team. So just keep that in mind when you say, like you'll see that there's no ball handle on this lock build. You know why? Because he's not going to have the ball in his hands. Hardly ever. So like this has a specific role. It has a specific purpose, and you want to get the most bang for your buck out of your strengths and not use useless attribute points and overall points on stuff that you're rarely ever going to use. Every little bit matters in the Pro-Am. And the second thing I want to do, I want to make very clear is, I know some of you are going to skip to the end and to the actual build part, and that's totally fine. Feel free to do that if you want. But for those who do want to stick around and hear the rationale, I don't just want to give you the attributes and the measurables, etc. And I want to teach you how to make a build. I want to teach y'all how to create a build for real. And the first step in doing that, in making any build, is realizing this. It's realizing what role you play within your team and identifying the necessary attribute caps, specific badges, animation thresholds, all those things. Find out what of those things are 100% non-negotiable and are must-haves on this build. And then after you do that, then you can focus on getting creative or focus on maximizing badge counts, which is what I do, or whatever you want, you know? So with this build, with that in mind, with that strategy in mind, I just want to let you know that the starting point of this build, or the non-negotiable attributes, are as follows. 86 driving dunk. You're going to be able to, and I'm going to show it all here in a second. I already have it preloaded, but I want to explain it before I get to the point. 86 driving dunk. You want to have the backdoor cuts be very consistent. The fast break finishes very consistent. 84 driving dunk gets you pro contacts. 85 driving dunk gets you silver post riser, and 86 gets you gold limitless takeoff. That's super useful for locks in the fast break to take off from the free throw line to get a quick drop off. So 86 driving dunk is non-negotiable. At least, or an 85 3-point, that's the max on this build. I know people can shoot with less, and that's totally fine. Let them do it. But you have to be consistent hit shots in the Pro-Am. You have to be a consistent corner shooter, and you generally want to have a higher 3-point shot than your power forward and center, just generally speaking as it works. The next non-negotiable thing is 70 pass accuracy. This is plenty, but you don't want any less. With how much you'll have the ball in your hands, it's fine. 70 pass accuracy is so good. If you feel the need to go up to 75 for the LeBron package, feel free to do so. But 70 is just fine, and that's what we're going to use on this build as the body, as the structure of it. 97 perimeter defense. I don't think I need to explain that. That's super, super useful. Really, really helpful. Body up animations, contest on the outside. You need it for challenger. Yada, yada, yada. 99 steal. Now, I'm going to take a second because I know there's a lot of controversy on this right now. For me, feel free to do what y'all want, for real. For me, this is still non-negotiable. As your primary on-ball lock, it's non-negotiable to me. Again, it's up for everyone's opinion. This is just mine. With how close these Comp ProAM games are, we're talking about 40-point, 50-point, 60-point games, low-scoring 2K games, because the games get super grimy. Every team's scratching and clawing for every bucket. Me, personally, I want every single opportunity I can on defense to get that ball back. Every opportunity. And I think that 99 steal helps out a lot. You'll still get a pluck every now and again. You'll still get a bump steal. And I know you can do that with a less steal, but I think like the pass backs, I was just talking about it a minute ago, the resets back to the guards. I mean, dude, the 99 still goes crazy. It still goes nuts on catching interceptions like that. So every bit matters in these Pro-Am games, man. I'm still going with the 99 steal. 87 block. That really doesn't have much use outside of a 5-out, but there are a lot of people running a 5-out. So we don't really necessarily want to rotate our big end every time because it lends itself to dot opportunities for the other team. So we kind of sometimes we want to leave our lock kind of on an island with the 5-out guard and say, you know what? We can handle you taking twos, but we want you taking tough twos on our lockdown, and he's going to have silver anchor when you're going up with the ball inside. 75 vert. This is a non-negotiable factor because that unlocks the dunk packages that are driving dunks that allows us to get. So for us to get an 86 driving dunk on the build and then have like a 60 or 55 vert, it would basically just be pointless because we're not going to get the maximum amount of animations that we could get out of having that driving dunk so high. So we went with the 75 vert. Max speed, I think that's fairly obvious. These guards are running around everywhere. We got people who have figured out dribbling at this part of the year. They know how to speed boost. They know how to crab. They know how to do all these things. And whenever they get behind a screen, they get an inch of space. They are taken off, and you need to catch up to them. So that's what we start out with, and I'm going to show you this right here. So it's already preloaded. It is already preloaded. What you see on the screen is everything I've just explained. I've done nothing more than what I explained. And if you know anything about the builder, you know it automatically puts stuff up. You know it automatically puts stuff up when you increase stuff. So I put the driving dunk up to 86, put the 3-point up to 85, put the pass accuracy up to 70, put the perimeter defense to 97, put the steal to 99, put the block to 87, put the vert to 75, and I maxed out the speed. That's all I've done with what's on the screen. And look how simple we've made this. We're already at a 93 out of 99, and we have every single attribute that we absolutely need. Now, we can focus on being creative, or we can focus on maximizing badge count. And that's always what I tend to do. So we're just going to go down the list here. And let me pull up the picture. Sorry about this. Okay. So we're just going to go down the list here. And we're going to go 75 close shot is going to get us a badge point. Driving layup to 78 is going to get us 2 more badge points. We're going to go down to standing dunk. And we're going to put it at a 65. I'll explain here. 64, you see, gets us another badge point. And 65 unlocks elite basket rim pulls. Which I think is a great standing dunk. Having standing dunk is a really great thing on these builds, because sometimes the pass comes late on backdoor cuts, comes late on the break. You want to be able to just finish it and not get blocked by doing a close shot or something like that. So definitely recommend that. Definitely recommend that. Now for the mid-range, I'm put it up 4 because that gets us 2 extra badge points in the shooting category. 60 free throw is fine. I'll just be honest, as a lockdown, you're not shooting very many free throws at all. On transition fouls, there's definitely going to be like the shooting guard or the point guard that's going to have a higher free throw, so you don't have to worry about hitting those. And 60 is plenty to be able to hit, so just keep that in mind. 60 is fine. 70 pass accuracy, still don't touch any of these. This is totally fine. Now we get down here. Everything I do in this defensive category is to maximize badge counts. Now, if you watch this video and you think you can get more out of it, please feel free to do so. Leave a comment. Let people know. This is just what I've done to try to get the most I can out of these spots. So I have labbed a lot of this, but I'm not going to walk you through that process because at this point it doesn't really matter that much with what's left. But this is just to get more badge points. That's it. So I went with an 83. Interior defense to get another badge point. Defensive rebound is 82. Gets us that badge point. And increasing the offensive rebound, I believe, gets us 2 more badge points, right? And then I think we just got to a place where we got an extra badge point, and I just added some extra because there was nowhere. I went down the list and there was nowhere else to get another badge point at. So I just ended up putting some more into that. And acceleration. I know this is a big deal. I got some comments on my back end video that people don't believe in acceleration. That's fine. And maybe it doesn't work. That's okay. I personally put it all the way up. I put it all the way up to 82 on my build. And that's what our guy Juice runs. 82 excel. With these point guards running around everywhere, you just want every opportunity to catch up with them. So, I mean, dude, it just is what it is, you know. But feel free to do whatever you like here. That makes me a little scared not to have Excel, but you 100%, I know there's been tests done about it. You got to do what you believe for your own build. So feel free, don't put it up, it's up to you. Strength, I thought 60 was a decent place to sit. I don't know that strength matters that much at all, but I just moved it up 2 notches. We got the vert already set, and stamina, we're going to put at 85, which is plenty for this build. So this is the ending badge count. 17 finishing, 20 shooting, 5 playmaking, and 29 defense. For takeovers, I think you have about 3 options. I'm just going to run through them real quick. I think perimeter badge drop is probably the best lock badge takeover. So I would have that as your one. And you've got a couple options. You could double up on the perimeter badge drop, which I think is very good. You could put it with extreme clamps, which I think is good. Or you could put it with spot up precision, which means your takeover will be increasing your 3 as it goes up and up and up, which I think is also very good. So you can choose from any of those. Let's see what we got here. I forgot what the name of this build is, honestly. All right, we got shades of Gerald Wallace, Jason Tatum, Andrew Wiggins, pretty nice. 2-way inside-out scorer. Not that surprising, but yeah, man, that's the build. Now I'm going to move on to the badges. I'm just going to show you what I run personally, and I think our lockdown on our team runs something very, very similar to this. Again, this is up to you. Fit your role, do your thing. This is just what I run. I want to give you an example. Now keep in mind, most of us have additional badge points from hitting level 39 on 3 seasons. And we have +4 badge points because I think you get that very early on in a My Career Story. So I'm just going to assume that y'all have +4 at least from the My Career Story. There's also, I'll get to the point about the core patterns here in a second in the defensive category, because that's about when it comes into play. But for finishing, I would run Gold Giant Slayer. It's kind of just a means to an end to get to the 10 badge point cap, so that way you can get to tier 3. Or not the cap, but the number you need to hit to get to tier 3. But Gold Giant Slayer is an OP badge this year. It's ridiculous. If you want me to go on a rant on that, that's a whole separate video. I can make a 20-minute video on Giant Slayer. But anyway, we'll just put it on gold. Aerial Wizard on silver. We throw a decent amount of oops on our team for Fearless Finisher silver. Again, just kind of trying to get to that tier 3 badge. Which is Slithery on silver, gold, Limitless Takeoff, core that on gold, if you can. I know it's really hard to core, but I think both of these badges are actually better than Posterizer, so I would advise you doing both of these. Moving on to the shooting, this is what I would run shooting on. I know this looks a little bit wonky, but just based off my own playing and kind of like the studies of 2K Labs, this is kind of where I would be on it. Core Deadeye on silver, gold, Green Machine. Green Machine's a great badge this year. Catch and Shoot, 2K Labs says the best place to run this on as a spot up shooter is silver, so that's where I run it on. Claymore is a good badge. I run that high as possible. And Corner Specialist does nothing. It just doesn't do anything. Slippery Off Ball is a very good badge. I used to kind of hate on it. I thought it was kind of pointless, but I think it's good. I think it's good. It's good to get open on your backdoor cuts. And Clutch Shooter and Comeback Kid, they work. The badges work. They're not great and they're very circumstantial, but they work. So why not throw them on? That's what I would run the shooting. For playmaking, this doesn't really matter. Do whatever you want here. I just, core bailout, get bailout on, needle threader, dimer. Dimer's always a good badge to run. I advise everyone run that. Special delivery in case you throw an oop in transition, that type of thing. For defense, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. So I know you look at the bottom of the screen and you're like, what in the world's going on down there? But the reality is you don't have enough badge points to get all of the tier 3 stuff. So I would advise 2 things. Number 1, most of you, almost all of you have that additional 4 badges to put on your build. Put it all on defense, because if you look at these, you can get this to Hall of Fame and this to gold. You can get Glove to Hall of Fame and Interceptor to gold just from having those additional badge points applied here. So I advise you to do that. And most of you have hit 39, at least in some of the other seasons. Use another badge point in this category. If you want to just keep this type, if you want to keep this core pattern. Now there's also a scenario in which you can have double defensive core. I do that on my back end and I do that on my lock sometimes, where you can core 2 Hall of Fame tier 3 badges, and then you have a lot of badges to work with. But as for the rest of this, 2K Labs says that I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear. I recommend Hall of Fame on every one of these badges. Everything you see in the bottom, I recommend on Hall of Fame. I think Clamps is trash this year, but I wouldn't run it. I wouldn't run it lower. Like as the on-ball lock, I would not run it on Hall of Fame. I just think Clamps is kind of garbage. But still, you do it because ProAM is a game of inches, and you need every advantage you can get. Glove, I think the best spots for glove are silver and Hall of Fame. But Hall of Fame on this build, Hall of Fame on Interceptor, Hall of Fame on Challenger. I recommend Hall of Fame on all these. Put Anchor on silver, 5 out, protect the paint. Pick Dodger. 2K Labs says that Pick Dodger on silver is really, really good, so we'll do that. Just leave it as is and live with the results. Workhorse, Hall of Fame. I actually do believe in this badge. So that's the badge loadout that I would run. But please keep in mind, you have those additional badges to apply. And you do have different core patterns if you've hit those in different seasons and you have those capabilities. Please exercise those, lab it up, see what else you can add to it. That'll wrap it up for the build. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you do enjoy the build videos of the ProAM gameplay, please hit the sub, leave a like or a comment, and hit the bell so that way you know when I drop a video. And I'll see you in the next one. Blitz out.